Welcome. Thank you for joining us today to learn about Hilton Worldwide. I'm Cindy Reagan, Director of Hotel Programs. Joining us is Peter Maltby, Director Travel Industry Relations for Hilton Worldwide. Peter is a very good friend to Travel Leaders Group. You may have met Peter in the past at national conferences. And Peter oversees the strategic partnerships with key consortia partners and is responsible for business to the global portfolio of hotels across the 12 brands. He also oversees a sales team of 12 sales professionals in the U.S. and Canada who call on travel agents just like you. Prior to Hilton, Peter worked at Virgin Hotels and started his hotel career with Thistle Hotels in the UK. Peter lives in Toronto and has been with Hilton Worldwide for 19 years. And in his spare time, he enjoys skiing, weight training, and travel. Today, Peter will share what's new with Hilton Worldwide brand, their global reach and expansion, the brand pillars, and Hilton Honors advantages to you travel professionals and opportunities for you. After our webcast, be one of the first 2 agents to win an overnight stay at any Hilton Worldwide when you take the 3 easy questions quiz and answer all 3 questions correctly. Welcome, Peter. Take it away.
Thank you, Cindy. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're listening from and what time of day it is. I'm going to spend the next few minutes giving you a very short update on what's going on at Hilton Worldwide. I'll move fairly quickly through the slides. There's a lot to share with you. We're going to touch on some of the brands. As Cindy said, we're also going to talk about the Hilton Advantage and the benefits available to travel agents. And then we'll finish up by talking a little bit about our travel agent's website and the benefits that you can see by using our travel agent website. And it's all about benefits for you as an agent rather than for your traveler. So just to get started. So these grids show you, firstly, where in the world we are. So it's just a very quick update. And if you could take a bit of time to have a look at the different circles at the top, they show you how many rooms we have today, how many are in the pipeline, and how many rooms are under construction in each of the 4 regions of the world. As you can see, the Americas is our largest destination by number of rooms, and we also have a very aggressive pipeline and under construction plan in the Americas. For us, a pipeline means that it's hotels that are coming in the next 4 to 5 years, and under construction means that there are actually people building the hotel right now. So these are all contracts that are signed and approved. It's not just a wish list. These are hotels that will actually come to the different regions. The other region I'd like to point out is Asia Pacific. Historically, we've been a little bit quieter and a little bit slower in Asia Pacific, but you can see here that we have an expansion pipeline of 67,000 rooms, and 46,000 of those are under construction right now. What we've done in Asia Pacific is firstly concentrated on the key cities like Beijing, Shanghai, Hong Kong. We're now moving into secondary cities so that we have opportunities for Chinese travelers to stay with us. And the reason for that is that 95% of business that comes from China actually stays within China. So it's a very large domestic opportunity for us. So that's why we're focusing so much on China. We haven't forgotten about Europe or the Middle East and Africa. We still have hotels in development in those regions. Outside of the Americas, it's primarily the full-service hotels that were in development. So it's the likes of Hilton and DoubleTree and the luxury brands like Waldorf Astoria and Conrad. The suites products that we have will primarily stay within the Americas because the Americas market is very much suited to a suite product. And then when you start talking about different regions of the world, land is more expensive. And for a suite hotel, you need a bigger footprint. And also the mentality of the traveler. The travelers in the Americas like a suite. And outside of that, it's seen as a luxury. So we're not really focusing too much on the suites products outside of the Americas region. The next slide shows you how many hotels we have open today for each of our brands. It also shows you how many properties are coming for those same brands. So at the top scale, we have Waldorf and Conrad, which are our luxury upscale brands. We have Curio, and Curio is a collection of unique hotels that I'll come onto in a little while. We then have Hilton, Embassy Suites, DoubleTree, which are all full-service properties. And then we have Hilton Garden Inn and Hampton Inn, which are our focus service properties. Homewood is our long-stay suites product. as is Home 2 Suites. And Grand Vacations is our product that you might think is only timeshare, but when rooms are not being used by the timeshare owners, they're put back into the GDS and to all of our websites, so you can actually book them for regular travelers, not as a timeshare owner. So that just shows you the number of rooms we have. The two brands that you may be not recognizing at the moment on that grid are Canopy and Curio, and I'll come on to those two in a second. The first big news is that we are expanding into a new brand. We just announced it last week, and this is a brand called True by Hilton. So True is going to be at the bottom end of the market, which is currently where we have a bit of a space. Initially, the Garden Inn and the Hampton Inn brands were our, not economy brand, but we call them focus service. So they're more focusing on what business travelers need. They don't have concierges. They often don't have room service 24 hours a day. So those are our focus service hotels. Now those products have been upgraded so much that they've kind of outgrown that particular market segment. So we had a space at the bottom end of the market, and we launched a new brand called True by Hilton. The first one will open in about 12 months from now, so it's going to be very early 2017. It's going to sit at the bottom end of the market for us, so it's going to be a very aggressive price point. It'll fit under the Hampton and Garden Inn price point, so it's going to be a very affordable brand. We already have 100 hotels signed to open, and we'll distribute information on where those hotels are when we know, and can release the information. Obviously, we'll do it through Travel Leaders Group so that you are familiar with all of the hotels that are opening. So that's something to watch for. We've just announced it, and as I said, it'll open in about, the first one will open in about 12 months from now. The next brand is Canopy, and I mentioned that in my initial comments. And Canopy is a new brand that we announced about last year, and the first one is going to open at the end of May 2016, so it's coming quite shortly. So Canopy is a very unique brand. It sits in the lifestyle space, so it's above Hilton and DoubleTree as our full-service hotels, but it sits a little bit below the Waldorf and Conrad brand. So it's really in that lifestyle space by way of and also product. So this just shows you that our first hotel will open in Reykjavik, Iceland, and that's at the end of May this year. We then have another 3 properties coming next year, and those will be announced as we start to open them. You can see on the right-hand side, there's a few ideas there about hotels that will open. So we have places like Washington, D.C., Bethesda, Waterfront, West Palm Beach, and a couple more like Ithaca. So we'll explain full details on when all those hotels open, but those won't be into next year. But this is a very exciting brand, so watch for the first one opening at the end of May in Reykjavik. These are a few visuals just to give you a feel for the hotel. And it's really going to focus very much on the local area that the hotel sits in. So when you wake up in the morning, you'll know that you're staying in a particular city, and a particular neighborhood within a city, not necessarily just New York. You'll know that you're in a defined neighborhood within New York. All the products and services within the hotel are going to be focusing on the local area. So for example, at the breakfast, all of the pastries and all the baked goods will be from local bakeries. We're doing a free complimentary evening reception, which will be provided by local wineries or beer stores or cheese stores. There'll be a welcome gift in the room for every guest, which again is from a local vendor. So it's really focusing on the real neighborhood feel to the hotel. So again, when more details come available, we'll release them through Travel Leaders Group. But it's a very exciting brand, and I encourage you, if you have travelers to Reykjavik, Iceland, after the end of May, please consider the Canopy brand, because I think it's going to be a very, very unique and wonderful experience for the traveler. Conrad, very quickly, Conrad have updated some of their products as well. Now, Conrad sits within our luxury space, so we now have something called Conrad 135. And this is where if a traveler is staying within Conrad and they have an hour between meetings, they can go to concierge and say, hey, I've got an hour to kill. Can you recommend what I can do? So the concierge will have a list of a couple of things that are really unique to the destination that will inspire the guest to step outside of the hotel and do something that's a little bit out of the ordinary. We have the same if the traveler has 3 hours or a full day, 5 hours. So again, the concierge will hand over a list of things to do that is unique to the area that you can't do anywhere else in the world apart from in the city that the Conrad Hotel is in. So it's a really unique way of exploring the neighborhoods, getting to experience things that are unique and you can't do anywhere else in the world. This has been developed by a lady called Nilu Muhammad, and Nilu is the Director of Inspiration for the Conrad brand. We think that we're the first hotel company to have a Director of Inspiration. So she's worked for a lot of different companies like Condé Nast. She's traveled the world. She has a great pedigree in the industry. So she is the Director of Inspiration, and she'll be coming up with a lot more ideas on how to engage travelers when they have extra time on their hands when they're staying in the Conrad brand. I mentioned Curio before. Curio is a unique collection of hotels, and this was launched again about a year, 18 months ago, and we have now a great collection of hotels that are open. This sits in the upscale and luxury segment, but the focus is very much not on Hilton, but it's very much on the name and reputation of the individual hotel. Then secondly, the Curio as a brand, and then thirdly, it's the reassurance that Hilton is behind the product. So again, it really focuses on the unique hotel. Each one is very different. For example, in Miami, in the Miami area, you have the Diplomat, which sits in Hollywood, Florida. It's a very big hotel, but it's very unique and iconic to the destination. You then have other properties that are significantly smaller, like the Highland in Dallas, for example. It sits in a neighborhood. It's a real boutique-style hotel, but it's iconic to Dallas. So again, they're very, very varied. We're opening a lot of great products within this, and as you can see here, it is worldwide. So we have products now open in the Caribbean, which are all-inclusive products. We have Europe. We have the Anselmo Buenos Aires in Latin America. And then we have several properties here now in North America. They all sit under the QQ chain code, which falls under the main Hilton chain code of EH, which stands for every Hilton. So if you're searching in the GDS for using EH, it'll bring up every property in those particular cities, including the Curio brand of hotels. Embassy Suites is also developing their products. As you're probably familiar with the Embassy Suites brand, the brand pillars are 3 brand pillars for the Embassy Suites brand, that they offer 2-room suites, complimentary drinks in the evening in the form of a complimentary reception, and then a free made-to-order breakfast in the morning, which includes omelette stations. So these are all the 3 brand pillars of the Embassy Suites brand. What they are doing as a brand is renovating the hotels. So those of you that have traveled to an Embassy Suites, you probably remember the very open lobby concept, the water or the stream running through it with the koi fish pond at the end. That's all being changed. We're still keeping the big open atriums in the middle, but we're repurposing those to remove the traditional water stream or river and pond. We're making it a lot more open. You can see here from the styling that the product is a lot more modern, more up to date. It has little booth areas. If people want to sit down and have a one-on-one or a small meeting, they can do that without booking a meeting room. And it's a lot more free-flowing and airy than it was before. So 60% of the Embassy Suites brand is currently receiving renovation. It might be from guest rooms to the lobby concept. So again, if you haven't visited an Embassy Suites for a while, it's worth another look. But they're going through a big, big change, and that is being very well received by the travelers that stay regularly with the Embassy Suites brand. Embassy Suites also now has an upgraded product. So these are premium suites that sit together on 1 or 2 floors of the hotel. And it means that in the suite you get automatic free Wi-Fi. You get an upgraded coffee. There's a Keurig machine, so you get upgraded coffee service. And there's also access to a refreshment credenza. Now this credenza sits by the lobby, by the elevator on that particular floor. You get a passcode, and you can go in and help yourself to snacks and drinks and microwavable snacks like popcorn, etc. So this is for the upgraded suites, and this is now available at 77% of all the Embassy Suites properties globally. So again, if you have a VIP or somebody who wants the upgraded suite product, still getting the 2-room suites, then this is maybe a solution for them to try. Now moving on to technology, there's been a lot of buzz around Hilton Honors and the Hilton Honors app. I'll explain a little bit about the app in a second, but I just want to remind everybody that all of these benefits that I'm about to review are available for bookings made not only through our direct channels, but also through a travel agency, such as yourself. So again, there's a bit of buzz in the industry. with various suppliers offering different things, whether you book directly or book through an agent. I just want to remind you that everything we do at Hilton is valid on bookings made by an agent. So just keep that in the back of your mind when we go through the next few items on the next slide. So firstly, we have the Hilton Honors app. And the app allows you to do four main things. Firstly, once the guest has a Hilton Honors number, they can download the app onto their smartphone. That means that they can check in from anywhere. At about 6 a.m. the day before they're due to travel, they receive an email saying you can now check into the hotel. So all you do is open the app, it shows you the hotel, and it says check in. Now with the check-in, you can actually select multiple credit cards. So if you have one for business and one for leisure like I do, you can say this is a business stay, I want my business credit card to be charged. Or equally, this is a leisure stay, I'd like to pick my personal credit card. So you can check in ahead of time. Once you've checked in, it will ask if you'd like to choose your room. Now this is available in all of our hotels globally. I think we're ahead of the game on this one. A lot of our competitors are saying you can check in a particular brand within the chain, but not all brands within the complete chain. So we're ahead of the game there, that you can use this whether you're checking into a Hampton Inn in Europe, to a Waldorf Astoria in the United States, or to a Hilton in Africa, for example. This is available at all of our hotels globally. So you'll be given the option of choosing your room. It will show you a map of the hotel. You will then select the floor that you want, that the guest wants to stay in. Once you've selected the floor, it will then show with little green dots the rooms that are available for your guest to check into. So that way the guest is in complete control of their stay, and they can say, well, I'd like to be on a high floor, away from the elevator, at the end of the hallway, so it's a bit quieter. So they have complete control over where they select their room on the floor. As part of that check-in and choosing your room process, they tell us what time they'd like to arrive. So any time from 3 o'clock onwards, it's showed by the hour. So they can say, I'd like to arrive at 4 o'clock. I'm planning to arrive at 4 o'clock tomorrow. So as part of that, there's now an order ahead app on the Hilton Honors app. So if somebody wants wine in their room, or if they want a beer before they arrive and they want it to be in the room waiting, or some snacks, or they want a hypoallergenic pillow or something like that, then they can actually do that through the app. You can order ahead so that we know the time you're planning to arrive is 4 o'clock. So at 4 o'clock, just prior to that, the item will be placed in the room ready for the guest arrival. So that's the third thing that's available on the app. The fourth thing is a digital key. Now, about 250 of our hotels today have a digital key, which means that when the guest arrives at the hotel at their designated time that they said they would arrive, a little button appears saying your room is ready. So you just click the button to indicate that you're going up to the room. When the guest is within 7 feet of the door of the room, another app pops up saying this is your digital key. Now you need to actively press it twice to unlock the door. And that gets around the problem of people just walking past the door and the door unlocking, so it doesn't do that. So you need to actively press it twice, and then the door will unlock. So that's available through the Hilton Honors app as well. And as I said, we have about 250 hotels open today that offer the digital key. By the end of this year, we hope to have all of Hilton, DoubleTree, Waldorf, and Conrad in the Americas with the digital key, and then it will move to a global platform from there on. So it's a work in progress. We're not fully up to speed with all of our hotels yet, but eventually we will be. But for the time being, we're at about 250 hotels where you can use the digital key. Now this is just a grid that I encourage you to come back and visit, showing you how Hilton is different from our key competitors. So this shows you how many hotels we have worldwide for each of the competitors, and including Hilton, in how many countries. It shows you on the third column down, the third row down, if Wi-Fi is available on GDS and travel agency bookings. So as you can see, not everybody does that, or they do, but with some restrictions. So with Hilton, it is available on all bookings made by a travel agent. The next one is who has digital key, then choose your room. And as you can see, Hilton is the only brand or the only chain to have a choose your room function on the app and the order ahead function on the app. And then digital key, again, everybody's working towards it. But this shows you exactly how many hotels we have with a digital key compared to our competitive set. So the takeaway from this slide, and also the next one, which is a letter from my boss, Paula Christie, really emphasizes the fact that everything we do for the traveler is available for bookings made by you, the travel agent. So just bear that one in mind. Now, on the previous slide, there was an icon that said Great Rates. We are offering a Hilton Honors member discount rate. Now, this is available in the GDS. You need to access rate code H81, H for Harry, number 8, number 1. So that will show you the discount that is available for Hilton Honors members. And it's a 2% discount for all days of the week if you book less than 14 days out. And then, as you can see on the slide, there is a 3% discount for 15 days or more, or for a 10% discount for the weekend. So we're not really actively promoting this through you. We're saying it's here if you get asked for it by a traveler. We would still encourage you to use the Travel Leaders program, the TL7 and the 7TL rate codes. But in case you're asked for it by a traveler, it is available for agents to book, and this is how you book it. So the last section is talking about our travel agent website. So we have a new travel agent website that is available for you, and it's really a resource with some tools, some information. So it's really, if you have questions, you'll probably find all the information housed on this website. So if you're likely to visit, I would encourage you to go to travelagents.hilton.com/travel leaders group, and that will show you the website. We have some newly opened hotels on there. We give you we're showing with you the information that I've just gone through is all available on here as well. We have a travel agent loyalty program called Unlimited Rewards, and full information on that incentive or reward program is also housed on this travel agent website. So there's a lot of really great information, including it's all in 6 languages: French, German, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, and also simplified Chinese. So if you're not a native English speaker, you prefer to look at it in a different language, then we do have 6 different languages available, and it's all the exact same information. So finally, we very often get asked about, what about travel agent rates? We do have travel agent rates available, and it's through the travel agent website I just mentioned, which is travelagents.hilton.com. So you can go here and check out all the different opportunities and specials that we have. So these are all available exclusively for travel agents. All you need to do is show travel agent ID or credentials when you check in, and then you can take advantage of the rate. So it allows you, very much like a regular booking tool would do, to search different regions of the world, and it will show you hotels available with the travel agent rate. So if you're looking for a trip for yourself, this is the place to go to book travel agent rates. So that was my presentation. I hope that you learned at least one new thing. I'd encourage you to answer the questions, then at least you can have a chance of winning a stay with any Hilton worldwide. And finally, if you have questions, please email hotels@travelleaders.com. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and please remember to book Hilton worldwide whenever you can. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter. Agents, again, please take the quiz, the 3 easy questions quiz, and that's a wrap.